I thought I had found true love with Jessica. We were together for 3 years and everyone said we were the perfect couple. That is, until she betrayed me with my close friend Tyler. I was devastated, but I never expected their relationship would come crashing down so spectacularly at the company holiday party. Sometimes karma works in mysterious ways, and that night it was served ice cold in front of everyone who mattered. Before I dive into this story, let me know where you are watching from. Hit that like and subscribe button if you have ever witnessed karma deliver perfect justice right when you needed it most. I met Jessica at a tech conference in Seattle 4 years ago. I still remember exactly how it happened. I was presenting a panel on software development innovations, and she was in the marketing team for one of the sponsor companies. Our eyes met across the crowded reception afterward, and there was this immediate spark that I cannot explain. We ended up talking until the venue staff started cleaning around us. Jessica was everything I thought I wanted. Smart, ambitious, with this infectious laugh that would light up any room. We connected instantly over our shared love for hiking the Pacific Northwest trails, obsession with true crime podcasts, and similar career aspirations. She had this way of making me feel like the most interesting person in the world when I talked about my coding projects, something nobody else had ever done before. I come from a hard-working immigrant family. My parents moved to America from Jordan when I was just 2 years old, and they sacrificed everything to give me opportunities they never had. By the time I met Jessica, I had established myself as a respected developer at Growth Tech Solutions, a rapidly expanding tech company in Seattle. I had worked incredibly hard to get there, often pulling 16-hour days during our startup phase. Jessica seemed to respect that drive, as she was equally ambitious in her marketing career. Our relationship progressed quickly. After only 10 months of dating, we decided to move in together. My apartment had the better location closer to both our workplaces, so she moved in with me. We transformed my bachelor pad into our shared space, picking out furniture together and creating what I thought was the foundation for our future. We often talked about marriage, kids, and even which neighborhoods would be best for raising a family. Tyler had been my friend since middle school. We grew up together, stayed close through college, and even ended up working in the same industry, though at different companies. Looking back, I should have noticed how our friendship began changing after I met Jessica. He became more distant, often canceling our regular basketball games or guys' nights. I chalked it up to his busy schedule, never suspecting there could be another reason. I had other friends who remained constants in my life. Marcus was my best friend since college, always straightforward and loyal. Aisha was a colleague who became a close friend through our work on several challenging projects. Then there was David, my neighbor, who would often join me for morning runs before work. They all liked Jessica, or at least I thought they did. Around our second anniversary, I started noticing small changes. Jessica became oddly protective of her phone, always keeping it face down and taking calls in another room. Her work schedule became increasingly unpredictable, with late nights and weekend commitments that seemed to pop up last minute. When I would ask about these changes, she always had perfectly reasonable explanations that left me feeling foolish for even questioning her. I trusted Jessica completely. I had never been the jealous type, and I prided myself on being a supportive partner. So when these red flags started appearing, I pushed my concerns aside. I convinced myself that her behavior was just a result of increasing pressure at work, and that our relationship was as solid as ever. I could not have been more wrong. Our third anniversary was approaching, and I had been planning something special for months. I had designed a custom engagement ring with a sapphire stone that matched the color of her eyes. I booked a weekend getaway to the small coastal bed and breakfast where we had spent our first vacation together. Everything was set for a perfect proposal. The day before we were supposed to leave, I was at home packing our bags while Jessica finished up some work at the office. She had left her tablet on the kitchen counter, and it lit up with a message notification. I would not normally check her messages, but the preview caught my eye because it mentioned my name. The message was from Tyler. I still remember the exact words that shattered my world. Cannot wait until Ahmad is out of the picture for good. 2 more weeks and we can stop hiding. My hands trembling, I opened their message history. What I found was months of conversations, intimate photos, and detailed plans about their relationship. They had been seeing each other for over 6 months. 6 months of lies straight to my face. 6 months of betrayal from the 2 people I trusted most. When Jessica came home, I confronted her immediately. I expected denial, tears, perhaps even remorse. Instead, what I got was cold calculation. She did not even try to lie, once she realized what I had discovered. "Tyler and I have a connection that you and I never had," she said, her voice eerily calm. "He understands me in ways you never could, Ahmad. He is more exciting, more spontaneous. I was going to tell you after your big project launch next month, but I guess now is as good a time as any." She packed her things that same day. Half of our shared belongings disappeared with her, including some items that had been exclusively mine. When I pointed this out, she merely shrugged and said, "Consider it payment for wasted time." The following days were a blur of pain and confusion. I learned that several of our mutual friends had known about their affair but had chosen to stay silent. Some even suggested that I should have seen it coming, that Jessica and Tyler had always had obvious chemistry. Those words felt like additional stabs to an already fatal wound. Tyler did not even have the decency to speak to me directly. Instead, he began flaunting their relationship on social media almost immediately. Pictures of them together in restaurants we had visited, places that had been special to Jessica and me. He even started spreading rumors at industry events that I had been controlling and emotionally unavailable, positioning himself as her rescuer from an unhappy relationship. Just 2 weeks after our breakup, Jessica moved into Tyler's downtown condo. I found out because mutual acquaintances felt the need to update me on every development despite my requests for space. The final blow came when I decided to try to get back to normal by visiting my favorite ramen restaurant, only to find them there sitting at what had been our table. Jessica saw me, whispered something to Tyler, and they both laughed. I left without ordering, went home and fell into the deepest depression of my life. My work suffered tremendously. I missed deadlines, made careless errors, and struggled to focus during meetings. My boss, Michael, was understanding at first, but after a month of subpar performance, he called me into his office for a serious talk about my future at the company. I isolated myself from friends, ignored calls, and spent most evenings staring blankly at television shows I was not really watching. I questioned everything about myself and our relationship. Was I not good enough? Had I missed obvious signs? What did Tyler have that I lacked? It was Marcus and Aisha who finally intervened. They showed up at my apartment one Saturday morning, forced me to shower and change, and took me hiking on one of my favorite trails. During that hike, Marcus said something that finally broke through my fog. "Ahmad, what Jessica and Tyler did says everything about them and nothing about you. But what you do next says everything about you." Those words became my turning point. The next day I searched for a therapist and found Dr. Rivera, who specialized in betrayal trauma. Our weekly sessions helped me process my anger and rebuild my sense of self-worth. She helped me understand that Jessica's betrayal was her choice, not a reflection of my value as a person or a partner. I refocused on my passion for coding, channeling my pain into creative solutions for problems at work. I started coming in early and staying late, not to avoid my empty apartment, but because I rediscovered the joy in building something meaningful. My dedication paid off when Michael assigned me to lead our company's most ambitious project of the year, developing a revolutionary data security system. Physical activity became another outlet for my healing. I joined a local hiking group, forcing myself to be social, even when all I wanted was to hide. That is how I met Sophia, a geology professor who had recently moved to Seattle. She became a good friend, who knew nothing of my history with Jessica, allowing me to interact with someone who saw me for who I was, not as the guy who got cheated on. 3 months passed, and slowly I started feeling like myself again. My apartment had been completely redecorated, removing all traces of Jessica. I was exceeding expectations at work, reconnecting with old friends, and even enjoying occasional evenings out. The constant ache in my chest had dulled to an occasional pang. Then came a chance encounter that changed everything. I was working at a coffee shop near my office when Lauren, Jessica's former assistant, approached my table. We had only met briefly a few times during company events. She seemed nervous but determined. "I hope this is not overstepping," she began, "but there are some things you should know about Jessica, things I witnessed working for her." Lauren revealed that Jessica had a long history of manipulative behavior. She had taken credit for other people's work, including Lauren's, on multiple occasions. She would charm her way into advantageous positions and discard people once they were no longer useful. Most shockingly, Lauren confirmed that Jessica had been seeing Tyler for nearly 8 months before our breakup, not 6 as I had discovered. She used to take extended lunch breaks to meet him, and I had to cover for her with our boss, Lauren admitted. I finally quit last month because I could not stand being part of her deceptions anymore. As for Tyler, Lauren shared that he had quite a reputation in the industry. He had betrayed previous partners and was known for living beyond his means, accumulating significant debt to maintain his flashy lifestyle. Apparently, he had already been spotted with other women while publicly dating Jessica. My project at work was gaining attention throughout the company. Senior leadership began stopping by my desk to check on our progress, and I was invited to present at executive meetings. My team respected me, and I developed a reputation as someone who could solve problems under pressure while treating colleagues with kindness and respect. It was during one of these presentations that I first met Natalie. She was a project manager from another department, brilliant and straightforward. After my presentation, she asked several insightful questions that showed she really understood the technical challenges we were facing. We started having lunch occasionally to discuss potential collaborations between our departments. These conversations were refreshingly honest and intellectually stimulating with no games or hidden agendas. December arrived, and with it came the announcement of our annual company holiday gala. This year, it would be held at the Evergreen Luxury Hotel, with several partner companies and key clients in attendance. I knew Jessica would likely be there as her company frequently collaborated with ours on major campaigns. The thought of seeing her sent waves of anxiety through me. "You do not have to go if you are not ready," Aisha told me during lunch. "No one would blame you for sitting this one out." But I had spent enough time avoiding situations because of Jessica. I decided not only would I attend, but I would go, with my head held high. When Natalie mentioned she was not looking forward to attending alone, I suggested we go together as friends. She agreed readily, seeming relieved to have company. The night of the gala arrived. I wore my best suit, the one I had been saving for special client meetings. Natalie looked stunning in a deep blue dress when I met her in the hotel lobby. We entered the ballroom together, and for the first time in months, I felt genuinely confident. The venue was beautifully decorated with winter themes, soft lighting, creating an intimate atmosphere despite the large space. I greeted colleagues and industry contacts, engaging in conversations about projects and plans for the coming year. Many people commented on the success of my security system, which had been implemented ahead of schedule and was already generating interest from potential clients. About an hour into the evening, I was speaking with Michael near the bar when I noticed Tyler entering the room. I had not known he would be there, but apparently his company had recently become a client of one of our partners. My stomach tightened, especially when I saw Jessica at his side wearing a striking red dress that ensured all eyes were on her. They made a show of greeting people Jessica, laughing too loudly at comments, and Tyler keeping his arm possessively around her waist. I excused myself from my conversation and moved to a different part of the room, not out of shame, but to avoid unnecessary drama. Jessica spotted me anyway. While Tyler was occupied speaking with some executives, she made her way over to where I was discussing project timelines with my team lead. "Ahmad, what a lovely surprise," she said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "I heard your security project is quite the talk of the industry. Though I wonder if it is really as innovative as people say, or just good marketing." My boss, who had overheard her comment, stepped in immediately. "It is revolutionary, actually. Ahmad has developed a dual-layer authentication system that our competitors are scrambling to replicate. We are very proud of his leadership on this project." Jessica's smile faltered slightly before she recovered. "How wonderful for you," she said to me, before gliding away to rejoin Tyler, who was now at the bar ordering drinks. As the evening progressed, I noticed Tyler making multiple trips to the bar. His voice grew progressively louder, his gestures more expansive. Jessica appeared increasingly uncomfortable, especially when he began openly flirting with the young bartender. I was speaking with Natalie and some colleagues when a commotion erupted from the coat check area near the entrance. Jessica's voice, shrill with anger, carried across the now quieting room. "Are you serious right now?" At my company event, all eyes turned to see Jessica confronting Tyler, who had emerged from the coat room with a flustered-looking woman from the marketing department of one of our partner companies. Tyler's shirt was misbuttoned, and the woman was hastily fixing her hair. "Baby, this is not what it looks like." Tyler slurred, reaching for Jessica's arm. She yanked away from him. "Do not baby me. I just caught you with your hands all over her, just like you were with that waitress last week when you thought I was not looking." The room had gone completely silent. Even the music seemed to have stopped. You want to do this here? Tyler's voice turned nasty. Fine. You are so high and mighty, but you were cheating on Ahmad with me for months. You are hardly one to talk about loyalty. Jessica's face flushed deep red. That was different. We had a connection. You told me you loved me. I say that to all the women. Tyler laughed cruelly. It gets me what I want. And now I am bored. You are too needy, too controlling. Always checking my phone. Always questioning where I have been. Jessica's composure completely collapsed. You told me you were in debt because of a bad investment. I paid your credit card bill last month. $30,000. Tyler shrugged. And I appreciate that. Maybe ask your next boyfriend for better financial advice. What happened next was something I could never have anticipated. Jessica's boss, who had been standing nearby, stepped forward. Jessica, did you just say you paid $30,000 of his debt? Was that where the marketing discretionary fund went? The fund that mysteriously had accounting errors. Jessica's eyes widened in panic. Diane, I can explain. That was just a temporary allocation. I was going to replace it from my personal account. Like you were going to give Lauren credit for the Davidson campaign she designed entirely, while you took that spa weekend with him. Diane nodded toward Tyler. The public implosion was both shocking and oddly vindicating. I stood quietly observing as years of deception unraveled in minutes. Tyler eventually stormed out, but not before loudly announcing that Jessica was damaged goods and that she had trashed me to anyone who would listen when we were together. Jessica, tears streaming down her face, tried to salvage the situation by apologizing to her boss, but the damage was done. She caught my eye across the room before she left, her expression a mixture of shame and desperation. Throughout the entire scene, I had maintained my composure. I did not cheer or gloat. I simply stood beside Natalie, who had quietly taken my hand in support. After Jessica and Tyler left, several people approached to express their sympathy for what I had endured. Michael put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Now I understand what you were going through. You handled that situation and this one tonight with remarkable dignity." The aftermath of the holiday party spread through our professional circles like wildfire. Jessica faced disciplinary action at her company for the financial discrepancies discovered that night. Tyler lost his client accounts when word of his behavior reached his supervisors. As for me, I received praise for my professionalism in a difficult situation. A week after the party, Jessica started sending me messages. Apologies, explanations, attempts to arrange a meeting to clear the air. After considering it carefully, I responded once briefly, "I forgive you not for your benefit but for mine. I wish you well, but our chapter is closed." She continued to reach out occasionally, but I maintained my boundaries. Some wounds heal cleaner without reopening them. My friendship with Natalie deepened over the following months. Unlike my rush into intensity with Jessica, we took things slowly, building a foundation of genuine trust and respect. She understood my hesitancy about relationships and never pushed for more than I was ready to give. 6 months after the holiday party, I received an offer from a prestigious tech company in Austin. It was an incredible opportunity with significant advancement potential. When I told Natalie about it, she was genuinely happy for me, despite what it might mean for our developing relationship. "Whatever you decide, I support you completely," she said. Some connections survive distance if they are meant to. Before making my decision, I had one final unexpected encounter with Jessica. She reached out asking to meet for coffee, and after consulting with Dr. Rivera, I agreed, choosing a public place during a busy time of day. Jessica looked different, humbler somehow. She apologized again for her betrayal, but this time without excuses or attempts to rekindle anything. "I have been working on myself," she said. "Therapy, making amends where I can. What I did to you was unforgivable, and I do not expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that seeing how you handled everything with such integrity made me realize how much growing up I needed to do." I thanked her for her honesty and wished her well in her journey. As we parted ways, I felt the last lingering weight lift from my shoulders. The anger and hurt that had once consumed me were truly gone, replaced by wisdom and peace. I eventually accepted the position in Austin. Natalie and I decided to continue our relationship long distance, with no pressure or expectations. The foundation we had built felt strong enough to weather the separation, and we committed to regular visits and open communication. 1 year after the breakup, I found myself in a place I never thought possible during those dark days. My career was thriving, my relationships were healthy, and I had developed a newfound appreciation for authentic connections. The betrayal I experienced was painful beyond words, but it taught me valuable lessons about self-worth and recognizing true loyalty. I learned that sometimes people come into our lives not to stay but to teach us what we truly deserve. I no longer view what happened as something that was done to me, but rather as something that happened for me. It freed me from a relationship built on deception and opened the door for genuine happiness. Karma may work in mysterious ways, but I have come to believe it is not about revenge. It is about natural consequences for our actions. Jessica and Tyler created a relationship founded on betrayal, and unsurprisingly, betrayal became its legacy. As for me, I found something better than revenge, peace within myself, and the knowledge that living authentically is the greatest success of all. Have you ever witnessed karma deliver justice in your own life? How did it change your perspective on relationships and betrayal? Share your stories in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life experiences. Thank you for listening, and remember that sometimes the most painful endings lead to the most beautiful beginnings.